At the beginning of the AIDS epidemic, there was an assumption that that researchers made, which which now looks like a flimsy assumption. They assumed that most people who caught the virus in North America, in America, New York, San Francisco, they were gays. So much so they called the disease the gay cancer, and there was they recognized that there was a smaller proportion of hemophiliacs and IV drug users who, yeah, but they assumed that the majority caught it through AIDS. So that part of the assumption is very plausible. Well, is correct. It's the other part. The other part, they assume that in the rest of the world, especially in Africa, the majority of the people who caught the virus caught it through heterosexual sex. And what was the evidence for this? Asking people in most of those countries, countries like Cameroon and countries which were colonized by the British, being gay is a crime, was a crime, is a crime. I don't know if you, yeah. So they would never tell you, we have girlfriends, we are married, but yet we have male lovers on the side. They would never tell you that. Yeah. So that makes the assumption, historically flimsy. Perhaps those guys, they got infected through sex with men, and in turn, they infected their wives or girlfriends, because it's easier to get the virus. When it's easier for a man to give the virus to a woman than a woman to give it to a man. Yeah. And the same assumption was made about even Haiti. People thought that it's mainly from heterosexual sex. I remember seeing one interview, and they asked the guy, are you gay? He said, no, I'm not gay. But off camera, he admitted that that 7 years prior, 8 years prior, he had sex with men. Remember, in the 70s, there was a lot of sexual tourism in Haiti. Yeah. But anyways, that's one part of history of the history of the disease that ought to be